I'm Maria Hall Brown, and this is LA Currents. Well, on March 1st, he made history as becoming the first Asian American to hold the position of Chief of the Los Angeles Police Department. I am delighted to be joined today by the 58th Chief of the Los Angeles Police Department, the Interim Chief, Dominic Choi. So great to have you here.
Thanks for having me, Maria. All
right, what made you want to actually, take on this role?
I think it just boils down to there was a need in the organization for somebody to fill that gap, and I felt that I was the appropriate person to fill that gap, and so I agreed to put in my name in the hat for this process, and I was honored and fortunate enough to be selected for it.
Do you have a clue as to how long you will be able to hold this position? What have you been told?
When anyone asks, I say roughly 6 months.
Okay.
So if it's less, it's less. If it's more, it's more. I know that the mayor and the commission would like to have a selection done as soon as possible, but that all depends on how many applicants and the process that they're going to implement.
There's been an enormous amount of celebration, well-deserved, of the fact that you're the first Asian American to hold this position. So what do you think that says out loud, and how does that make you feel?
Well, it makes me feel great to represent not just Korean Americans or Asian Americans, but all minority groups. I think people see me not as a Korean American role model, but as a minority role model. I never dreamed I'd be sitting in this position. So I think with some hard work, some good luck, and some dedication, anyone can work hard and achieve what they want to at LAPD.
What are your strategies to engage people in a potential career with the LAPD?
Sure. So there's three things I want to focus on during this interim period. And obviously it's crime reduction and community engagement. And those two things go hand in hand because we need our communities to be our partners, our eyes and ears, and with that partnership we can reduce crime together. So that's number one. Second priority, like you mentioned, was recruitment and retention, not just hiring, but retaining those people that we have. In the past few years, our attrition level or our retirements, I'll call them retirements, are just people leaving the organization, because we've had a lot of people from the 2 to 10 year mark without vesting in a pension leave the organization. That's unusual. We haven't seen that in the past. Could be a bunch of reasons, because normally on their paperwork they just put personal reasons, but we know a lot of them are going to other agencies, right? So I want to focus on retention as well as our hiring. On a positive note, this year so far our attrition level shows a decrease, so more people are staying. But also in January we had 1,200, almost 1,300 new applications for LAPD. That's the highest number of applications one month we've seen in over 2 years. And then lastly, morale and employee wellness. So when you're internally well, when your organization is well, when you're physically healthy inside, you perform better. You do it with more vigor and more excitement, and you treat people better. So if I can increase morale and wellness, that is automatically going to increase our recruitment and hiring, because I believe our officers are our #1 recruiters. And right now, not all of them are telling their friends to come join LAPD, and I need them to. And then with that, with an excited workforce that's eager to come to work and excited to see what the next day holds for them, they're going to go out there and engage the community in a positive manner, which is going to ultimately reduce crime. So all of this is intertwined.
So when you say that there's something for everybody in the LAPD, what are jobs beyond a beat cop, beyond someone who, what are some of the things that people never even think about that they could potentially do?
We have a dive unit. If you're avid scuba diver, you can go get on the dive unit to go search for evidence that's thrown in the ocean or the lakes or whatever else it may be. We have a mounted unit. We have specialized investigators like abused child unit. We have over 230 different job descriptions. We have our air support unit. You can become a pilot of a helicopter. On the civilian side, we have forensics, our people that take our fingerprint specialists, our polygraph examiners, kind of the CSI stuff all exists. We really do have a whole array of different jobs.
You bring up an interesting point. You have been with the department now for 28 years. How have you seen the department change, just in a general overall sense? How have you seen the department shift to adapt to a changing Los Angeles and shift and adapt to what people want their police department to be versus what they felt it was?
So I've seen a lot of change for the better, positive change. So just our diversity hiring has significantly increased. The technology has increased. We went from having radios where we had to hang them out the car window and go grab them when we need the radio, to now they're on our sides and they're with us everywhere. Body-worn video, digital in-car videos, the way we police, like our Community Safety Partnership Bureau. We never had a whole bureau that was dedicated to community policing, where we find a underserved community, build relationships, help activate that community through programs for youth all the way up to the senior citizens within those communities, and educate so they can support themselves and know how to use city resources. Every one of those locations that we've stood up for Community Safety Partnership, I think there's 10 now, there's actually 11, but 10 groups of officers, one supervisor, 10 officers in each of those sites. We just opened up another one here this month, and we have another one opening up in a couple more months. Every one of those sites has seen a dramatic decrease in crime. So the way we police, the way we're building trust and relationships, the transparency after going through the consent decree, the reports that we publish, the way we track certain things, I think we're doing a great job in communicating all that information publicly, building that trust, and then that leads to a lower crime rate because we're all working towards the same goal. But also when we have community events, whether it's coffee with a cop or whether it's a community meeting, a town hall meeting, 90% of the people there are there to support. Almost everybody is willing to work with the police hand in hand. They're not there to be against the police, and the officers see that.
Do you see another force? It doesn't even have to be in the United States. It could be somewhere that kind of stands as a role model to you, because, you know, sometimes it's, instead of reinventing something, it's something, you know, take the good parts of what is already existing somewhere or it's something. And do you see a force anywhere that you think LA could, you know, cherry pick some good things from and create?
Well, I've had the opportunity to visit a lot of different agencies, both nationally and internationally, and from the Korean National Police to the Venice Police Department to the Italian National, to the French Police. So I've seen a lot of agencies, and I will tell you that my personal opinion is we are still the best.
Oh.
Yeah, we are always evolving, always looking for change. If you're stagnant, you're falling behind. And that's just been our mantra, and because of that, we've been able to stay ahead of the game, I think, and set the example for us. And we have agencies from around the world calling us to come visit our training facilities to see what we're doing, and so I think that's a testament to what we're doing. I'll tell you, when I came on the job, I only applied to LAPD, and if I wasn't going to be an LAPD officer, I wasn't going to be a cop. Because? I was just infatuated with the LAPD brand. It was the movies, everything was LAPD, it was the best, right? And so I used to be an accountant. I worked for Cooper's Linebrand, a big six accounting firm back then. And I said, well, I want to be a cop. And so I applied.
The era of all of those films and television shows that, you know, put a police officer in a position of hero versus a position of what we saw, you know, after the pandemic.
Well, there are some opportunities out there to create another LAPD type of show. You know, like we used to have Life on the Beat years ago. But there are opportunities out there that I'm looking into. Just as kind of, not so much as a Hollywood sensational LAPD, but more of a marketing tool. Say, look at all these jobs we have, look how much fun it is. And I remember coming to work in the middle of summer, and you know, when I was a probationary officer, every day I was excited to come to work to see what the next day held for me, what kind of radio calls I was going to get, you know, who I was going to run into. And I just want the young officers these days to feel the same way.
Most importantly, if people are interested in becoming part of your team, what's the best way for them to find out what's available?
JoinLAPD.com.
Okay.
That webpage will give you everything you need to know. We have individual mentors for you to talk to, and I encourage everyone to look at that website.
Well, thank you so much, Chief Choi. It was really nice talking with you. I look forward to talking to you again.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.